All right, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia. It's September 9th. Uh, Listen, everything's back in full swing. I was away for, I would say, since the beginning of the week. Everybody seemed to hold the fort down appropriately. Let me sign as we speak. Actually, let me go with the TradeGATEHub and get right into it. What's going on? Market going higher. Wow, up 5 handles. All right, so I will sign in just the same as everybody else. Give me a little bit. I'm still processing the information, or a day or two to get back in the swing of it. I will tell you that I missed it. I'm not going to lie, because it keeps me sharp. You know what I mean? I want to perform and give a high product. And when I'm not only wasting your time, but mine as well. So I'm not going to let that happen. We never did, but we're not going to start. Okay. A lot of talk about, hold on. A lot of talk about the dollar. I posted this morning. We're just going to jump right into it. I mean, it is a Friday, so coach held the fort down. As a matter of fact, the coach, let's look at one happy viewer this morning when it came to coach. To no surprise, need one thing. What did I say? Did I miss anything? That was funny. Did I miss anything? Okay. Everyone's best and worst trades. Nobody posted it, but that's fine because they wanted to get to really what's happening. That's what's going on with the CTAs and everything like that. So the bad news is the CTA 1 week net change is one of the largest net selling U.S. equities of the last 6 years. Hold on a second. In fury. Move my Twitter. Now that made the call on JPY. I got it. 1 second. Boss, he was asking about a Twitter call. Okay. The good news is that if we can get, and by the way, this is Zero Hedge. He's very widely followed. Zero Hedge, as you should say. I did make a lot of changes to not a lot of changes, more than usual, maybe added 4, or I think I added 4 to deleted 2. Go to him, because you know what? That's who I was looking to. What happened here? Something's going on in the, that's what I was looking to. Oh, I see it. Zim, you bastard. My whole theme for the last maybe week and a half, 2 weeks was not that I thought there would be a short squeeze. Let me go to the market for a second. Let me show you the chart and why. And I said this, for the past, I wasn't alone, but that was the theme. Let me go to the SPYs and let's go back to a daily. This move here off the bottom, this first, I thought that was predicated upon on a short squeeze and everybody being under positioned and on the other side of the trade. And that's when you had stocks that were like that Shopify that were, the 12 points higher than it is where it is now. And that's because stocks like Square are starting to base and PayPal are starting to base. And when I left and I had these best of breeds on, a 1,000 cliches popped into my mind. Is if I'm not saying time the market, but if you stick with these best of breed and don't go for the low floaters, then the cliche comes in. If you want your positions to work, then you don't watch them. You know what I mean? Obviously, my greatest acumen is being a day trader. I'll call it what it is. It's almost synonymous with being an ambulance chaser, the lawyer, but both make a lot of money. I'm not going to apologize, and I did grow over a 20 almost 7-year career now. Great to hear you too, Coach. 27-year career now. It's almost like how they start. You start off as a gambler, then a speculator, then an investor. It's the same thing now. I started off as a day trader, and I took it up to being, maybe branching out and going to a little bit more time frames. And believe me, every step along the way is, you're going to have your ups and downs. The Tesla up $8, going to the 300 stocks. Is that the Tesla going to the 300 strike? Here's the chart on Tesla. What a nice move. I saw it yesterday. You didn't do it. NIO, that reversed yesterday on big volume. If you knew, look at this. And I'm going off on a tangent. I don't care. Nutella bounced $10 out of nowhere. MU. All right. So like I said this morning, where's Nike? I'll use Nike as an example, coming up the resistance. But you know what? They still want it. Here's the chart on the SPYs. 405. All right. Now we're above the 50. That anybody know? You know what? I can't be hypocritical, but go back. But I'm getting excited. Now I'm back in the swing. Okay. Is that I held on to the best of breeds. And you know what? Apple, I posted with my average price is Apple's like what, 157. Coach called it right there, the weekly 155. Where was the weekly on Apple? There's the weekly on Apple. Sometimes it's not the best thing when you have to go to the weekly chart, but best of breeds and going to a long term where if you've been on TGH and knowing, I mean, this week we're giving you the data, not necessarily interpreting it in any biased manner, is that, you know, there's the Jesus feed. The bulls are back below 20%. Okay, so what happens when the bulls are back below 20 cents? Correlate to the chart to the S&P. It doesn't mean I don't think we may make new lows. It doesn't mean that I think we're going back to the new highs. I'm positioned on both sides. The swing trading I haven't really been doing, but you can interpret it as you want. If you're a long-term trader, day trader, whatever you want. Here was the chart on the dollar, and that was what? It was a little hot now, and that was 3 hours ago. Just Tim, as I came on here, asked me what BIOS charging. They are charging. And you know what? I need what stock do I need? Need. That's such a poor term. Need. XBI. And you know what? Why the BIOS charge, coach? Is because of the hold on. Am I sharing this same REGN? Which, by the way, if you don't know, it went from 560 to 720. You have to hold on, it's a weekly. Regan had a big move yesterday. If you don't know, the Regan went from 600 to 740, which, by the way, is a decent chart percentage of the. By the way, best of breed. Go back to a weekly. That's why the XBI, the XBI is going up as well, coach. It shouldn't. I thought it would be going up more. There's NVAX, ALT. Back in Phil, ALT, I wouldn't necessarily buy that. That might roll over. What else are we along here? Sprint. Oh, ZS. That's a fun stocks. I'm peeling out of that eventually. ZS is a fun stock, and you should know that ZS is a cyber stock. So go CRWD. It's no surprise. Go with it. S is also a fun stock. Lewis, you know it. That we started buying there. By the way. And you know what? Why I started to just go through a mini and a macro situation. The reason why I started peeling off ZS is, first of all, and I am keeping in mind it's not where stock it's been, it's where it's going. But you know why? It wasn't healthy when I had a decent sized position and it had earnings. And thank God I believed in it and I know it very well and was prepared. I had a plan either way. But stock went from 145 to 184. And like I said, keeping in mind it's not where it's been, it's where it's going. But like the Nike trade, I think it's coming up to 200-day resistance. It's nothing wrong with taking some off. And that's what I did. Tesla, NIO, I should have bought. There's XPEV. Let's go with these other ones. Did they bounce? XPEV, not really. What else? Ribbon. That was hot yesterday. Asan. Now, what I went to, and said more in TradeGATEHub, and now I am going back and forth. Now, Asan yesterday, which was up $4. No, you have to realize that you have to watch these things. And the GLLB was another example of stocks that had good earnings and didn't give it all back. Stocks like Shopify didn't have earnings and they just happened to go with the short squeeze going on. But you got to keep the AMD. You got to keep note on what stocks had good earnings and why. GLBE is an example of them. TTD. Another one that maybe got a little bit ahead of itself, but people that, that settled there. The stock went from 47 to 75. It basically went up 80%. And it pulled back and held the 200. They shook out all the people. The 50-day, in my opinion, is, how I feel about it. That's the do-all, for any type of stand, any type of confirmation. And certainly to sit above the 200-day and sit there is, well, that's maybe confirmation. You get the picture. So TTT was another example that I was accumulating. It wasn't necessarily a bottom fish. The news was out. It was taken well. Obviously, stock pulls back like that. But let's look at something like Nevada. It's not done yet, maybe. Twilo, still not done, but it's crawling up a little bit. And the fact is that I like the volume was, it had heavy volume on the downside. And by the way, decent volume on the upside. So that's a sign that it could be washed out. Carvana, GLLBs, and what I like. DocuSign, I have that long term. What else is going on here? I'll go back to TGH for a second. If I'm going off on tangents, I apologize. I'll get back into it. Okay, so the dollar. Tim had a question on the dollar, and I'll get back in a second. All right. Reiterating what I said initially, go back to my Twitter feed because I wasn't able to really look at quotes all day long. I reverberated back to my universe, the people that over time, I trust that when they say what the news is, I don't have to worry about if it's fake news or exaggerated. I can go by that. It's not necessarily that I would like to see Dow Jones news, obviously myself. EMPH one day one, they're pulling down. EMPH pulling back a little bit. BMPH, does that mean it's over? I don't know. BMPH volume. Still, I don't know. You know what? That's yet to be. That's the best of breed for the solars right now. You have to watch the CMPH. Run. Another one in the fund. I bought a nice flag. I'm going to add to. I'm in run. I'm going to hold that long term. I wish it could be taken out so I don't have to look at it, because I know when I look at it a year from now, it's going to be $80. I really feel it. Disclaimer. I think I have to put a disclaimer there, but I'm in it. All right. Let's go back to TradeGATEHub. All right, short-term sentiment. All right, so we're up a little bit today. So we're a little bit overheated. The oils aren't up or aren't up that much, so that will take some of the pressure off, if you will, from being too heated. Okay, just saying, when they have to buy puts back, what happens? Go over it again. S&P daily sentiment. There's a little bit, there's more room to go. We're still up what? A couple of 1.5%, but predicated upon the rotation. It doesn't mean necessarily. I still think there's. It's almost like I want Apple to rest and then them start to rotate and take some of the dogs up. I think that would be healthy. Here is Apple, by the way. Is Apple what? Is breaking high today. Apple computer. All right, we're up in it now. And I wish I didn't have to focus on this too. They were sexier. I wanted to go above the 50-day. It's actually very healthy that everybody's not in Apple, because Apple's it's almost a flight to safety, if you will. So when Apple's somewhat lagging, I don't think it necessarily is a major negative. But let's look at Microsoft's first thing. Well, these are in the Google, the FANG stocks, or the old FANG stocks. I don't know why they're not participating, but you know what? Stocks like ON Semiconductor, best of breeds, no surprise. GFS, Global Foundries, right down the block from me. I like it, still a buyer. Tesla hanging in there, BABA, long term. You know what? It was the K-Web. What are you going to do? I mean, one day up, one day down. Lewis knows all about it. He can actually articulate it even better. He's good with those. Lithium, hot stock, see if it rests. UAL, nice. I mean, UAL, now it's coming to that triangular pattern. I'll show you my screen in a sec, but let me get back to the daily routine here again. I say it all the time. I'm wasting more time apologizing than getting back to business. All right, this is another one. Bank of America bull and bear. It's back to zero. Everybody's on the bearish side now. By the way, remember how hold on. All right. Yeah. Can I call you back? All right. Bring me ham sandwich too. Run. These are CTA's position. You have to blow it up on your own time. So you know what? As Walter Bloomberg once says, after the previous rally, we were up, we barely budged. Please go back to the videos. And speaking back and going to the videos, this is what you really do if you want to take advantage of TradeGATEHub, is go to the red YouTube channel and just have pages and pages and pages of our trading DNA. And by the way, we're going back. That you want to get to know us, and everything's on record. We're going back 7 months ago, a year ago. These are consistent. We're cranking out. I don't mean to discredit the professionalism of us, cranking out videos a couple of times a day now. And coach, I mean, look at this one. Here's David Hunter video he did nine months ago, 6,000 views. Bravo, coach. So you know what? We've been doing this at a high level for a long time. So go back to that red YouTube channel. Boom, you get to know us a little better. So when it comes to game time, we can worry about executing, not knowing to get to each other. You know what I mean? It's almost like calling a prostitute. You don't have to take them out to dinner. You know what I mean? You can just get to trading. So get to know the YouTube on it. Sorry about the vulgarity of it. It's just, that's what pops in the mind. Let's get back into it. All right. Helene, investors rush out of U.S. equities at likelihood of economic downturn. Bullish. They're selling. I like that. They are chasing on the short term. All right. What does the Rev Shark say? What does he say? The market action in front of CPI feels a lot like what happened prior to Jackson Hole. That's irrelevant. Done. Tesla was up 1.2% pre-market. Now, how much is it up? We gave it to you early. So I noted you that Tesla was up and considering refineries. But lithium batteries, I apologize. Always Walter Bloomberg up and down, upgrades, downgrades. A notice on the futures. Again, the DXY. All the plan for coming up with Fed speak or anything that's relevant to the market short and long term. Everyone, I said, I paused. Everyone go to my Twitter feed and adjust to some who I follow, please. As the market, if the market's in a speculative phase, sometimes I might put some guys that are a little bit more speculative out there. You know what I mean? Market going up now. All right. Went through the real professional zoomies. Nice trade, pre-market movers. Daniel, get in there. I appreciate it. Another thing, new all-time highs. I don't know, G-Money. It looks good right here. Where are the spies right now? I don't know about new all-time highs, but when I look at the spies and I see that, I go to my chart and I see the spies right here. Relative strength is good. So certainly, it still have a lot of room here. And also keeping in mind that the B of A indicators bearish. Everybody's still bearish. I don't know. Let's just play the rotation and play what's proper. Now that the spies are sitting at the 50, my holy grail, if you did all-time highs is a hell of a move, or yearly highs would be, up at the 500 rate. But certainly I want there to be, I want there to be, some consolidation. I don't necessarily want everybody to jump in, because I'm not even all in yet, as some would say. I'm somewhat underinvested. I need confirmation on Apple, right? Until I go in it again. I don't know if I need any more confirmation on ON Semiconductor, or look at JP Morgan. Now I don't know this. JP Morgan or Citibank, which my two are best of breeds. Citibank, it looks like anybody could see that I got to babysit more than JP Morgan. JP Morgan looks a lot healthier. So I don't want it to be that, that necessarily type of V-shaped rip. I want them to settle. And I'm not necessarily saying that, that it's that we're out of we're in the safety zone, or however you want to articulate it. BERU going up now. That BWB should be going up. BG. The Zimmer let me down. Zimmer holding. I took a position yesterday in Zimmer on Zim. On the capitulation, I'm not going to lie. I saw the volume and I saw it reverse. Here's Zimmer in 2 minutes. If you want to get into advanced Mike B trade, they flushed it. Okay. The low on Zim yesterday was the 30 strike price. See all that volume come in? And I've been watching the stock on a daily basis. Trust me. And that was the most volume it's done into a precipitous sell off from 44 to 30. I mean, it's a big move. Once a big high flyer, keeping in mind, this is March, whatever, 6 months ago it was 97, now it's 32. So I bought it yesterday. I actually caught it a little bit well when it had, I think I caught it right here at this gap, through the gap. See that gap? I bought it at right here, 31.40. It got up to 32.85. I'm not looking for a complete home run. It's yet to be determined if this trade is going to turn into a position. But certainly it's still oversold. I like it, consider it's crude. It's inflationary, if you will. So it's somewhat of a portfolio hedge, if you will. If it goes down below 30, I'm out of it. I don't have that much, whatever, 6,000 shares. I do have a mark in it, but that's what I'm thinking, both short and long term. Next, TradeGATEHub. Anybody have any questions? Or did I offend everybody by the prostitute analogy? I do apologize. Stock like Asan and ZX actually had good quarters, so it's not just a short squeeze. It's somewhat assuring that maybe these stocks, coming into earnings can actually hold their lows square. That's rounding up a little bit. I'd like to see it go above the 50-day in base. PayPal, am I doing with time? I am getting in the roll. PayPal, I like. I think it's going to rest. I'm going to add to it. Disney, I sold that 2 days ago. Disney, typical popped. I sold a lot of it, but I did sell a lot at the 200-day. See, I think a lot of these stocks could, am I doing on the charts? I think a lot of these stocks could do what's analogous to Disney, that go up to 200-day and then rest. Something just got hit hard. All right, so what else? Newmont, what's that doing long term? Resting. Meta, what are we doing in Meta, Lewis? Meta, not adjusted for my split. They'll adjust it. What are we doing in Snap? Still resting. Pins, that was the one that first popped, by the way. So pins, same thing with 200-day. So you know what? Market's coming in a little bit. So I see the market's coming in a little bit. Let me go to Mike V real-time action. This is very simple what I do. I go to boom. As you know, I have my own filters, but for you guys, I go to stock scanner. I go moving down now. And it even goes with time, whatever is 11:18. NVIDIA, the MVTA is moving down. SLB, J&J, Tesla, Pfizer, Lyft, all good stocks that might be just pulling back off. Saba is the one though. So I look at Saba. Saba at 11:20 a.m. is going down. So what's Saba doing? Saba's making a nice move though. Look at Saba. How you doing? No, not it rhymes. Saba rhymes with Shava, as we've been speaking. Okay, break. This is the only thing that matters right now at 11:20 a.m. Relative volume on high relative volume. Boom. QNXT. I also need range. I could do it. 10-day high. GOVX. DocuSign at numbers. ZS. Speaking out of the bull morning, Wayfair reversed. Oh, that was down. I took my eye off it. That was on the list just for trade. Wayfair, just because I like the GLBE, talked about it all morning. Kroger had news. Then that's up. That's not good. All right, here's the chart on Kroger. Now I got an interest on Kroger. This is what I see. Kroger, okay, broke the downtrend. It's an inflationary stock. It's a grocery store. Has the moves in it. Keep ripping. See these moves? So Kroger can be sexy, despite being a grocery store stock going from 47 to that. Go to the weekly on Kroger. Then I'll go to see what news there was. Then I'm going to see if the rest of them are moving. You know what I mean? That's what goes through my mind. So let me go back here. GLBE, by the way, holding in. And that's why my DLO should be going up too, but it's not. Oh, DLO, I was a little bit bagged. Move from 23 to 26, not bad. If it goes, DLO goes back up to maybe like 28, I'll sell some more of it. What else is moving? All right. First of all, I got to get these ads out of here. TIGR and NIO. Kroger. So by the way, Albertsons goes with Kroger. Pins, but that's as a 9:30. Most active now, as of whatever this time. Most active now is what? Pardon, NVTA, AMD, Snap, all the stocks that we bring up. NIO still going. Riven, day off. Breakout on the day. We're actually range traders. G Money, this is for you. You're a range trader, and a good one at that. Royal Caribbean. Let's look at the range on a range breakout on Royal Caribbean. So Royal Caribbean, did it make its move? We have to keep in mind it's not where it's been, it's where it's going. Royal Caribbean does, you know what? Made its move. It's not for me, but that's on the list. Sava, been a hot stock. Guys got to know that. What else? Schlumberger. G Money's best of breed. Look at Schlumberger, nice little base here. Well, you know what? Coach may be better at reading that chart. I don't know what Coach may be. Coach, put a position on the. Then I look at Halliburton. Halliburton will tell me how good SLB is. So Halliburton being the second best of breed, if you were lagging like that, tells me maybe the SLB chart isn't as good as it is. But then I'll also go to Baker Hughes, BKR, nothing. So if I want to do anything, it's SLB. But because the other ones are weak, I'm not really that big on the sector. Boom, Live might be trading. Live, Coin, Moss. So let's go to another one. If you don't like this, let's go to bar chart. Going back to our routine, screen 3. New screen, bar chart. Very simple. Stocks, all you want right here for free. Percent change, range change, 5-day gainers, volume leaders, indices. Let's look at it. You know what? Let me go let's go to stock market sectors. Let's go to the leaders. Here you go. They're the leaders today. So the S&P Communication Services are in the lead. So you know what? What's part of S&P Communication Services? What's up on the most volume today? It's very simple. So I see AT&T. Lewis, where are you? Google, Meta, and Verizon, Netflix, Para. I want the most up today. So the most volume is actually AT&T. But if I want to trade something, it's Dish. Match was hot yesterday. I saw that on the train. It's up another 2. And I did buy Bumble. Bumble, I bought at 23. It's a bad sell, Mike V on Bumble. It went with Match and I sold it. What a putz. That's going to bother me. Live Nation. All right, what else is going back? What's another group going? Actually, let's look at weak services. A weak situation. Let's go to stocks. Let's look at the stock market sectors. And if we want to look at something, let's look at decliners. They got the decliners here. Stock market sectors. I want the freaking top signal direction. There's a good little thing here for free. I'm telling you, very good. Search for symbol today. 5 days stock market sectors. How about that? What happened here? Tony Pistachio is back into it too. Tony's ready to make everybody money as well. Top sectors. S&P materials. Worst sectors. Consumer staples. Consumer staples. So we should be shorting 5 days. Percent change. Percent down. General Mills, Walmart, 5 days, Pepsi, 5 days week. You know what? I looked at Kellogg this morning. You know what? Kellogg's one of those stocks that I've been trading for so many years. It's one of those that I subconsciously always punch up. I don't know why that is, but it is. FUTU making a nice move. Octa, Signet. Any questions, everyone? Because I may have went over my limit. I went on tangents, but it's good to be back. As I'll say, I'll BIOS charging. That's it, guys. All right, I'll leave you at that. It's 11:25 on a Friday. As Coach always says, you're not going to you're not going to make your month on a Friday, but you certainly could lose your month on a Friday. Notifications. We're notifying. Okay, what's the wise guys doing before we get everyone waiting on LICN on Monday? What is that? LICN. Mike Santoli just punched. What does he say? Okay, so he's close to what the Rev said about Jackson Hole. Index is trying to nose above that line about Jackson Hole. And you know what? Value added to us, because this is what I said this morning about Jackson Hole, about the Rev. Shows you on what top of things. It really is. I'm proud of that. Actually, I brought that up. Pardon. Where's the Rev? The Rev. The market action in front of CPIs feels like what I had prior to Jackson Hole. So Mike Santoli just comes up and says, index is trying to close above the Jackson Hole. So where's the S&P line? 40.59 is the line on the S&P right now. All right. So there it is, 40.59 from Mike Santoli, from the Rev, and I'm sure everybody else is looking at it. Swing trade bot, great guy, free dude, free guy, got to be on it. Okay, let me give you an example. Rose above the 50-day today. What am I interested in here? Nothing really yet, but 50-day support. Well, rose above previous high. So Google's going above the high from yesterday. I'm sure Naya was as well. Okay. So here's what the public feed says. You know what? Let me go to the private feed. Hold on. Notifications. Everybody, Rick Ellison. Thanks, guys. Thanks, team. Let me go tell to what my private boy's doing. RVNC bullish, XLE bearish. That's good. Breath 8-1. Keep an ear out for the sound effects of sell programs and breath deterioration or further expansion. All right, so we're a little stretched for the short term, okay? And why? Go back to TGH. We came in today for the short term. There's the S&P sentiment and the oil's helping. So this is what I'm more interested in. Coming in today's short-term sentiment, what are we, up 5,600? So we're right over here. Would anybody be at fault for taking a little some profits for some guy that's buried in Roblox, for example? I don't like using that word, buried. For a guy that 3 days ago was in Roblox at 39, now it's 44. You know, would I fault the guy for taking some off the table? No. So if the market comes in, will it be an implosion? I doubt it, but you got to be aware what's going on. Okay. So this is him. I should have sold it. See, that's what happens when you concentrate. You know what I mean? If the stock was in an uptrend, I wouldn't have watched, but Zim, I turned, now the stock turned into a little position again. I did take some off, but a move on 6,000 shares from 32.87 to 32, even though I like it because I'm in it for a reason. I'm not going to sell it if it does go below 30, but the rest of the stocks are strong. EURN. Hold on. EURN. Shipper. TNK. That shows you should be buying the strong ones. TNK is a shipper. SBS bulk bank. SBS bulk. Same thing. That's in the same ballpark, but I got it monitored. All right. So there's run 1 day down. There's run mean it's up 20%, mean it's over. I'm going to start adding to run. Where's run 38? Sweet spot for run is probably, I didn't like the fact they went negative in the morning very quickly. Might have been some more profit taken. 37.5 is going to be it's going to be my price. Probably on run. That's a nice strike price. I'll be buying it down to 35 run. No, maybe not 35, but it's got a lot of support and it's got a lot of good news. SEDG, animal. No, not really. You know what? EMPH is the ones we all know. All right, let it go with that guys. All right. So it is 11:30 now. Be wary of some profit taking. The VIX is actually positive, so people are buying protection for the weekend. So be prudent. And the majority of money's been made already, so I'll leave it at that. I missed you guys. I'll be back in the afternoon and definitely on Monday. Thanks for tuning in.